This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, April 4th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. Yemeni Houthis down 2 American drones, contributing to continued high tensions. Economic instability remains following tariffs announcement. Beginning with international events, in the United Kingdom, a 16-year-old boy was murdered after being stabbed in the neck in Huddersfield. So far, multiple attackers have been arrested in conjunction with the murder. However, authorities have not identified the assailants. In the Red Sea Horn of Africa region, the situation involving American targeting of the Houthis in Yemen has deteriorated following the shoot-down of 2 American drones within the past few days. 2 MQ-9 Reaper drones were shot down by the Houthis, one in Hodeidah, the other over Marib. Around the Middle East this afternoon, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center issued a maritime advisory warning of increased GPS jamming being detected in the Strait of Hormuz. Analysts comment. This is a classic tactic used by Iranian forces routinely, either for the hijacking of vessels or for more wartime preparations. While it is possible that the jamming is the result of American warships using electronic countermeasures to defend against missiles, in this case this could be related to the recent uptick in Iranian forces stopping oil tankers allegedly engaging in the smuggling of petroleum products. Iranian authorities seized 2 vessels attempting to illegally export diesel fuel from Iran a few days ago for these reasons. However, considering that the overall security situation in the region remains tenuous, GPS jamming could be a sign of increased defenses against a potential conflict. On the home front in Washington, D.C., various economic fallout continues as all sides of the issue interpret the recent tariff announcements in the context of economic stability. Most financial markets have remained volatile as fast-moving economic decisions have come to light. This morning, President Trump urged the Fed to cut rates, but as of this afternoon, Chairman Powell seems to indicate he's not interested in such, leading to more uncertainty. Analyst comments for this wire. Generally speaking, there are multiple viewpoints on whether the recent economic changes in the U.S. are good or bad. Some state that the tariffs and subsequent economic shakeup with regards to American domestic production are a necessary hardship that will be tough at first but will get better as more domestic production returns to the United States. Others think that while this is a noble goal, this may not be possible in some industries as companies will simply keep production overseas and pass the costs of tariffs on to consumers since most major companies in the modern world are monopolies. Others still don't like taxes in any form whatsoever, which is an argument that often mistakenly conflates taxing a domestic population with taxing an overseas adversary. Some people say that fair is fair, and that taxing other nations the same as they tax us is long overdue. Others agree with this idea, but point out that in the international arena, returning to a concept of fairness won't rule out hardship, since most American companies outsourced everything to the Third World years ago, and it will take a lot of work and be quite costly to start building things in America again. Even more people will point out the national security concerns of having the overwhelming majority of critical wartime supplies, such as almost all medications, being made overseas with cheap labor. An American-made Tylenol pill costing a few dollars per pill may be preferable to not having that pill at all in the event of a war. Which perspective is correct is already being hotly debated, and the situation isn't necessarily possible to categorize as good or bad. However, virtually no one is stating that economic tribulation won't be the result. The general consensus is that economic trouble will happen no matter what. The debate lies with whether or not the tariffs will result in long-term hardship or short-term hardship. Hard times will probably be the result in any case. In the United Kingdom, the murder in Huddersfield has been subject to more gaslighting and manipulation in the media than usual, possibly due to the gruesome nature of the attack. For instance, the BBC reported the incident in very passive language, merely stating that, quote-unquote, a man was found with a stab wound. Most media groups have also completely ignored the attacker, or in this case, the multiple people who have been arrested in conjunction with this murder. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, April 4th, 2025.